BlackRock is now making an unthinkable statement that we definitely need to take a look at. People who are freaking out right now are definitely on the wrong track, because BlackRock says to buy the dip. Also, we have just a few hours until Donald Trump is going to make a massive announcement. At the Digital Asset Summit 2025, we're going to take a look at what it's all about. Are we seeing the first Bitcoin purchases? Is Donald Trump going to make it public now? But even if he doesn't make it public, we have Michael Saylor sharing a clip now from a politician who clearly states that we can expect the Bitcoin Act to pass in the near future. So, from Cynthia Lummis, the Bitcoin bill includes that you can buy up to 1 million or at least 1 million Bitcoin. That's ultra bullish. But let's start with Donald Trump first, because we currently have the Digital Asset Summit going on right now. It's been going on for about a day or so now. And now there's news that Donald Trump is going to make a major statement tomorrow. Or rather, today, if you're watching this video, there's going to be a big reveal. Eleanor Turret shared this, stating that Donald Trump is going to make a massive announcement here at the Digital Asset Summit. And it says here, some clarity has emerged. Several sources on the ground at the Digital Asset Summit conference told me that President Trump plans to join the conference at some point today, or to join the conference via live stream tomorrow, to give a speech to the crowd. I was told that this could possibly still happen, but it might also be done through a recorded message. So we're not sure if this is going to be a live feed or if it's going to happen via a recorded message. It definitely looks like this is going to happen via live stream. Tomorrow is the last day, or rather, I always have to say today. We've shifted the time. So today, if you're watching this video, is the last day of the Digital Asset Conference. So that means the announcement definitely has to happen today. And then it says here, as always, in the president's schedule, the timing and plans for such events seem to change constantly. Stay tuned for updates. And we've seen this before, that Donald Trump has been at various Bitcoin conferences. Then it was in Nashville, where there was some kind of 2 or 3 hour delay and so on. So it's pretty normal for Donald Trump isn't always on time, but that it can sometimes get pushed back. And we are now very, very curious about what this announcement will reveal. So a lot of people here are really, really hyped, but we also have to be careful because we've seen a lot of times that any announcements from Donald Trump get really hyped up. And later it's just about some FIFA trophies or something like that. So I'm bullish, but I'm still skeptical about the whole thing. Feel free to drop your opinions in the comments. Consider that this is going to be a nothing burger or whether we really just a few hours left until the next big announcement. But we also have to keep in mind that even if a massive announcement comes out, some really big news about Bitcoin or something, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Bitcoin price is going to go up because we're still in that risk-off sentiment. And we've seen time and again that when massive announcements come out, the Bitcoin price doesn't really react that strongly upward because there's still a lot of uncertainty in the market. So we have uncertainty in the market due to tariffs, due to the geopolitical tensions. So even if a huge announcement comes out, it doesn't necessarily mean we're sending Bitcoin to Valhalla. We definitely need to be careful. But what's even crazier is what BlackRock is saying. So there's a new interview here. And this is the person in charge of digital assets. Here at BlackRock, he's dropping a massive bombshell in an interview. You definitely have to check this out. And I'll say it again for those who aren't aware of the impact here. This is the largest asset manager in the whole world. The largest asset manager that has more asset under management. How many countries have a gross domestic product? The massive statement draws you.
Buying up, and I'm talking to some of the most sophisticated long-term Bitcoin accumulators. They're pretty excited about this dip. They see this as a buying opportunity. They certainly don't look at economic headwinds and say that's bad for Bitcoin. They say that's probably a catalyst for Bitcoin.
Well, to be fair, they are always pretty.
That's true. That's true. But some of them, we're taking chips off the table a little bit in the hundreds, and now they see this correction, and a lot of them view it as sort of an irrational sell-off based on short-term factors. I don't know whether that's true or not, but certainly there's a lot yet to be sort of understood and processed about this asset and how people think about it from a risk-return perspective and in a portfolio and how the correlation should play out over the long run. So we're trying to play a role in that. Lots of other financial institutions that have come into this space are trying to bring some quantitative rigor to that as well.
I'll be honest with you, most people are going to completely sleep on this again. And then you'll be back at $300, $400, $500,000 or even higher prices. And you'll start saying, oh, it's all so unfair. I wasn't there. And back then I didn't know, but they knew it. The signs are there. The indications are there. And this is also confirmed here by BlackRock. The people who have been in the Bitcoin game for a long time are now incredibly bullish on Bitcoin because they know exactly that right now it's just short term. Have a downturn. We're seeing some turbulence in the market, a bit of uncertainty. We're seeing a sell-off, but rationally, the sell-off doesn't make any sense because the fundamentals are stronger than ever. The overall setting is stronger than ever with the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Potential Bitcoin purchases in the US, a lot more, all the institutional FOMO, all the institutional players that are coming in. And he makes it very clear, hey folks, those who have been in the game for a long time are really enjoying this right now. They're using this as a buy the dip opportunity. The opportunity, they buy the dips here, and people who have not been in the game for that long, they're going to let themselves get shaken up by the global issues, the trade wars, and so on. Those are going to be the massive losers here, and it's always the same game. The retailers and the clueless, or yeah, I wouldn't call them clueless, but the retailers and the people who just don't understand Bitcoin, they come back with the price of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin rises to 200,000 to 300,000, then the media will come along, then they'll all buy Bitcoin. And when there are cheap prices, only the OGs buy in. And it's always the same game, always the same game. I mean, it's great for you if, for example, you bought the dip here. Feel free to let me know in the comments who among you bought the dip. So, I thought that was an incredibly good buying opportunity. I'm putting a link down here too. 21 Bitcoin, how you can easily, safely, and simply buy Bitcoin. Here, with the code, you can get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin. This is an absolute recommendation here. But you also have to say critically, yeah, it's bullish to buy Bitcoin, blah, 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 and so on. But you have to be fair and say that BlackRock also has an incentive to pump the Bitcoin price, or not to dampen it, but to pump it. And that's why, yeah, I get it when someone says critically, they just want to pump their own bags and so on. Yeah, I can agree with that. But nonetheless, even if they have their incentive to pump the Bitcoin price, their statements are still less relevant. So short-term uncertainty, but long-term it looks hyper bullish. I'm going to show you the bullish view here at the beach. Just as bullish here, the sun is still maybe 1 or 2 hours away from sunset. Back there, you can see it, those are all the surfers. Maybe you can see it if you zoom in here. You can't really see it, but you can see them back there. Do you see them? You can see them back there. The loungers and everyone are just chilling on the beach. You know, surfing is always so exciting. You actually don't do anything the whole time. You spend an hour in the water, and then maybe a minute, surfing the wave if you're lucky. But it's kind of similar with Bitcoin. Most of the time, nothing really happens with Bitcoin either. You just chill out. You just do your thing. And then there are like 3, 4, or 5 days a year when the breakout actually happens, when it really either shoots up massively or drops down massively. And that's the important thing to know. Most of the time, nothing happens with Bitcoin. And you just need to have patience. Just like now, during the dip, you need patience. But folks, those who have been in the game for a while know that after a dip, a pump always comes back. And now we have an incredibly bullish statement that was shared by Michael Saylor. He was also here at the Digital Asset Summit. So a politician just spoke. And that was the major whip. And he talked about the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. And this is about the Bitcoin Act by Cynthia Lummis, which says that you should buy at least 1 million Bitcoin. And per year, it's around 200,000 Bitcoin or something like that, what you should buy. And that was the announcement or the proposal from Cynthia Lummis. And now the question is whether this will actually go through. We're about to check out the clip because it's super bullish. We can see a prediction of when we can expect the bill to pass because we have the executive order that Bitcoin can now be purchased. But it would be really awesome if this actually goes through in Congress. When it comes to the more challenging political finding as well. Crazy. A crazy wave there. How crazy. So, there's the executive order, and with the executive order, it's pretty easy to push this whole thing through. Now the next super bullish wave is coming. Attention. 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 Let's freaking go. That's really nice. For sure, the executive order is bad. Easy, setting up a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But in the long run, it would be so much better to have the Bitcoin Act here. Because then you also have the political, getting the whole thing approved through the vote gathering process. Then you have the majorities in politics here. And then it's also very, very difficult that if Donald Trump is no longer president, all of this could be revised. That means that at the moment some people are criticizing the fact that Donald Trump is leaving here as president, that the executive order could potentially be reversed. But if the Bitcoin Act goes through, then it would definitely be written into law, making it not so easy to change in the next 20 or 30 years. And now I'm going to show you the massive clip. We're going to ride another wave. And now I'm going to show you the massive clip.
The thing you're talking about, two answers. One, yes, there's legislation. I think there are different members that have different versions. I'm pretty sure Nick Begich, our new member from Alaska, is one of them who's, he is.
He loves Bitcoin and Mt. Gox, so
I'm telling you.
He's OG.
Nick is great. But so yes, there is legislation. And I believe that before this Congress is done, that will be enacted.
Okay. That's great to hear.
You can see that there really are OGs in politics who have been here with Bitcoin since Mt. Gox. So, thumbs up to anyone who managed to get some Bitcoin out of empty Gox. I ended up meeting someone who somehow had 8 Bitcoin at empty Gox and got back something like just under a Bitcoin or something like that, or something along those lines, he told me. It's just crazy how many people lost wealth for generations there. But, yeah, That's just how it is. Michael Sater definitely didn't share the clip for no reason, because the politician clearly states that he expects the Bitcoin Act to pass in this Congress. And I looked that up on Google. Like, a Congress in the US is always set up for 2 years, and then there's a new Congress. So, according to the politician, we should assume that in the next roundabout 1 or 2 years here, the Bitcoin images are going to go through where things are really going to get wavy. Let me put it this way. We definitely have to assume that the Bitcoin Act is going to pass in the next 1 to 2 years. And that would be pretty crazy if we just assume, okay, first, we see the executive order that's already gone through. Then we look at buying Bitcoin in a budget-neutral way. We might swap some random gold or something for Bitcoin, or whatever, then with Bitcoin bonds or something like that, we buy ourselves some Bitcoin. And then, when the stockpile is a bit bigger, the Bitcoin Act will still go through. And then it's really been put into law here, so it can't be easily changed. And then you have a very, very bullish setting in the US, where you can create wealth for generations, even through Donald Trump's term. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about that, especially the bullish statements from BlackRock, whether you can go along with that. Or do you say, no, I can't really go along with that. I find that kind of weird. If you're still looking for the best way to store your Bitcoin securely, I'll drop a link below to a TREZOR hardware wallet, how you can easily, securely, and simply protect your Bitcoin from hackers, attacks, and theft. Here you can manage your Bitcoin self-sovereignly on your own hardware wallet. With the code Bitcoin Hotel, you can get 10% off the purchase of one of those TREZOR hardware wallets. I'm signing off from the cool riff here in El Salvador. It's really awesome here. Check this out. I gotta show you this. Here's the crab, right? Wait, I need to get a little closer. Do you see them? They're scratching around here. Boom, boom, boom. There you see it. Here. Yeah, that's a fear. There are a whole lot of them here. Everywhere. Okay, folks. So, I'm signing off from El Salvador. See you later. I need to turn the camera around. See you later. Peace out.